Hi, welcome everyone to our conversation Beyond the Safari. I'm Megan. I am the founder of Cherish, and we're really happy to host this conversation and that you're here to be a part of it today. At Cherish, we truly believe that life can take you to some amazing places through travel, but we also believe that travel is something that can truly make an impact and amplify voices. So we're here to have a conversation about how safaris specifically can be beyond just doing something that's on the bucket list. Today is going to be really special because we've brought Anty Marche from Unite the World with Africa Foundation, as well as Cherish's newest travel guide that's based in Tanzania, to have a conversation with us about what it's like to travel to Tanzania and the impact that can be done in that space. So we'll share that today through their experiences as well as how we can make a difference. So I would like to invite both of them to the stage, Anty Marche from Unite the World with Africa, and Mercy, who is here on behalf of Cherish as our local guide. So the way we're going to talk about start today is we're going to talk a bit about Unite and Cherish's partnership, and then we'll talk more about our safari as well. So we'll start with Anty, and I would love, Anty, if you could introduce yourself for everyone and let us know a little bit about your journey and how you got started with Unite.
Thank you so much, Megan. I really appreciate it, and nice to meet you, Mercy. Just like Megan introduced me, my name is Anty Marche, and for the almost 7 years, I've had the joy of serving as a program director for Unite the World with the Africa Foundation. Unite has really been more than just a workplace for me. It has been a place of growth, learning, and finding my purpose. And through this journey, I have witnessed countless transformation for girls in Tanzania and women. I have also seen our scholar grow from young students with big dreams into confident, professional, actually who are now many working and earning and building their futures because of the opportunity that Unite has opened for them. In addition, really what touches me most is not just to see their success, but the privilege I have had to walk beside them as a mentor, as a guide, and sometimes really as a family. And I feel incredibly very blessed to be part of their lives, to celebrate their milestone, and to know that together we are creating a ripple effect, changes that will last for generations to come.
It's amazing work that you're doing, Anty. I'm going to ask you a question I didn't maybe prep you for, but for those who don't know, can you tell them a little bit about what Unite is and what the work is that they're doing?
Yes. So Unite is a US 503c, and it does work in not only Tanzania, but other countries in Tanzania, but really mostly in Tanzania, educating girls who are from marginalized community, who actually, without really Unite and the investment that Unite has done in their life, they probably wouldn't be able to get where they are today. So that's really the main job for Unite in educating these girls.
Yes. And we got connected because you actually now reside in the Atlanta area, and you told me about the work that you were doing and how it impacts local women. And so now Cherish is so blessed to be a part of the Unite family and support local women attend school as well.
Absolutely. And we are very, very, very grateful for Cherish, because really Cherish too has stepped in and just supported some of these girls, not one, completely from their, family support, education, full supported these two girls who are very smart and now doing extremely well. One is actually working now, but one is another in school. So we are very thankful for Cherish partnership.
Thank you. I'm so thankful for the work that you guys do on the ground. I'd like to ask you, Anty, what do you wish more travelers understood about the life for these young women in Tanzania? What's it like for them? Can you share a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So thank you for that question. From my experience as a program director with the Unite the World with Africa Foundation, something that I really wish truly is if the traveler truly understood the challenges and the incredible strength that shaped the lives of these young women in Tanzania. Because many of these girls still face barriers such as limited access to education, early marriage, and there are so very few opportunities to make their choices about their own futures. But what inspires me again every day is their resilience and determination. Because when these girls are given chance, these young women, they rise above their circumstances and they excel and they go on to lead changes in their community. So again, back to our partnership with Cherish, I just feel that it's so important. And together, I feel we create opportunity for not only the travelers for this experience in Tanzania to engage meaningful with these young people, young girls, through this collaboration that we have. But I feel that visitors can listen to their voices for these young women like Zakia, who is actually pictured here, through mentorship, just to transform their lives.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so important to see how travel can transform lives in places that people visit. I don't think that everyone has that front of mind all the time when it comes to their travels. They are thinking about vacation and not the impact that they can make. And I think it's a beautiful thing, this partnership that we have. So I'd like to ask, I'm jumping around in order of the questions that we presented to you, but I wanted to ask about what you think about how a role and partnership, a meaningful partnership, looks like when it comes to tourism and the work of travel and something like a nonprofit like Unite.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I think and I feel that usually the travelers, when they engage through communities and they just feel there's more humility and deeper sense of purpose, just like the organization that Unite and Cherish, how we actually present, because the travelers, they can become more than just a trip. They can become a partnership themselves by getting involved and creating a future for these Tanzania young women.
Yeah, and do you want to share a little bit more about how there might be some misconceptions about people who visit or travelers who visit East Africa, especially when it comes to girls' education and just local communities and culture?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, and I've said this many times, that one of the biggest misconceptions travelers often have about East Africa, and especially Tanzania in particular, is that when they see the northern circuit represent in the north of the country, they think maybe that the whole country is like that. But really, in truth, Tanzania is vast and it's very diverse, with community full of warm, resilient. There are so many untold stories that go beyond the wildlife and landscapes. So, and another misunderstanding that I think it relates to girls' education, because many visitors, they just assume that girls in rural areas, they lack ambition, and then they are very limited in what they can actually achieve. But in reality, it's a complete opposite, because when girls are given the chance, they excel. With a scholar that we support in Unite, as they have become professional, they are now actually role models in their communities and many families. So I believe that when these travelers understand that education unlock their potential and their success, that benefits the generation to come, they probably can get involved more in their lives.
I think that it's amazing to hear you talk about education and how that changes and shapes futures of these young girls that you're sharing about and talking about. That definitely leads into one of the questions I wanted to ask and talk about is more on how does education shape the futures of these women, and how does Unite exactly play into making that difference?
Yeah. So Unite the World with Africa Foundation go to very marginalized families in community, in very, very remote family. Physically, Unite goes there to these families and see these girls and mentor them. We bring them to the city of Dar es Salaam. We support them in different aspects of their life, mentorship them, and fully education. And we invest not only in the girls, but we actually invest in their families. So Unite is it does just more than education to these young girls. Yeah.
I personally actually got to meet Zakia, who was pictured a couple of minutes ago, and it was such an amazing experience to meet someone in person that Cherish our trips had made a difference in her life, because our very first safari to Tanzania fully sponsored Zakia's education for the year that she needed, and she is actually now working in the tourism space. So her dream was to become her own tour guide in Tanzania and maybe one day own her own travel business. I hope that remains a dream for her and that she continues to pursue that path. But it's just really incredible to meet these women, see how intelligent they really are, and see how much impact you've made on their lives, Anty, and how doing something like taking a safari with Cherish can directly support women in their dreams.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much, really, for Zakia's story, which is a story that's really amazing. And I hope that everybody gets to read that. But I also want to add that by choosing a company like Cherish Tours, the traveler, they can contribute to scholarship, mentorship program, and family support that ensure these young women like Zakia have the chance to thrive. Because beyond the financial support, visitors, travelers who use Cherish Tours, they can become storyteller and they can advocate for many of these girls, carrying the mission of Unite and Cherish back to their own communities. And this exchange not only can sustain our program, but also it can create a empowerment where education, economic opportunities, and global awareness are deeply connected.
I couldn't have said it better. I think that's truly the power of travel, is how we can be connected not only to other people around the world and their local communities and learn about how to be more understanding and giving and open-hearted and learning about culture, but bringing it back home as well so that you can make a difference in your own community with these newfound perspectives. It's so powerful, and thank you for being a big part of that.
Oh, thank you, Cherish Tours. Thank you, Megan. I just feel so blessed to have met you, because really the meaningful partnership that we had, Unite and Cherish Tours, it happens when every visitee or every visitor that Cherish bring to Tanzania, it turns into opportunity to support education, to mentor, or to empower these young women, while at the same time they are inspiring travelers to carry the impact beyond their trip. So thank you so much, Cherish. We really appreciate it, and we hope that this partnership can last for a long, long time.
We hope the same. And we have a slide prepared as well with the Unite the World with Africa donation link if anyone feels compelled to learning more about that, or just researching more about all the work that Unite is doing in Tanzania and beyond. This link is there for you to go ahead and check out. We'll probably put it up again later in the conversation, and just making sure that anyone who is interested in learning about how you can make a difference in local women's lives in Tanzania, this is a great place to start. And thank you, Anty, for being here. I'm going to transition to ask Mercy some questions, but I really appreciate you being on the call today and just this ongoing partnership.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Are you ready, Mercy? All right, Mercy, I'm gonna go ahead and give a little introduction about you, and then I have a few questions for you as well. I am so excited that I got introduced to Mercy. We have now someone who is based in Tanzania who is able to be a community builder on our safaris, and that's Mercy. She's also a photographer and a videographer, so she will be capturing incredible photos, not only of our travelers, but their experiences on all of our safaris. So I'm very excited to have her here. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself as well, Mercy? Can you share a little bit about your background and your experiences in Tanzania?
Yeah, gladly. Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Mercy John. I am a photographer and a videographer, as well as a tour guide based in Tanzania. And my journey in this tourism and filmmaking journey started for the love of storytelling, first through the lens of the camera. Um, then years later, I've spent several years capturing the not only the landscape and wildlife, but also the storytelling of the people of Tanzania. That will be like education concepts, ceremonies, different stories about daily life of Tanzanians. And over the time, I realized that guiding travelers was not just about showing them the animals, the typical safari or the big five, as everyone that comes on top of every traveler, maybe that's coming to Tanzania. It's Mount Kilimanjaro, Ngorongoro, Serengeti. But it was about helping them to see the soul of Tanzania. That's when I combined my creative side with the guiding to create more meaningful experiences that goes beyond just the usual itineraries or the usual routes. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's me. Yeah.
I love it. I think that transitions perfectly into our next question to talk maybe a little bit more about what is so meaningful in showing travelers something beyond the safari. I think it's so amazing, of course, when it's someone's first experience in Tanzania to see the wildlife, to experience the Serengeti. It's what draws people to the area. But I'd love to know from your perspective, Mercy, what's so important and what's so meaningful about showing travelers things beyond just that top big five that you're mentioning in the wildlife.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, wildlife is amazing. And yes, Serengeti, Ngorongoro, the Mount Kilimanjaro, they're all incredible. But Tanzania is so much more than just safari and wildlife and landscapes. For me, it's deeply meaningful to show travelers the human side of the country, the Tanzanians' life, the cultures, the languages, the music, the daily life that makes the Tanzania feel alive. I love seeing someone's eyes light up when maybe they try their first local food in Tanzania, say chapati or ugali. I'm not sure if Megan you have tried it, but um, seeing when they see the culture, the languages they hear, or they join the Maasai while dancing the local music, or they visit the local markets in Tanzania. I mean, they feel alive. I think they will feel alive and more connected to Tanzania than more than just the wildlife. And for me, I guide not just to show the places, but to connect people, to break the stereotypes, and to make sure the travelers live with a fuller, richer understanding of us Tanzanians and the Tanzania itself. That's why I said the Tanzania is more than just the safari. I mean, I like to show people our way of living, our culture, our creative side. Yes.
Yeah, it's really powerful, and I think that what's really unique about Cherish's trip specifically is that we are doing a balance of that. We're taking people to see the big five, to see lions, to see elephants, but we also are introducing them to local culture in Tanzania through the Maasai. We go to Arusha as well, which is one of Tanzania's larger cities, and we get to see some of those local experiences like a market. And it's really important to see both sides of a country and not just fly in and fly out. So I'm very excited to have you as part of this team, Mercy, because you are born and raised in Tanzania and can really bring a better understanding for our travelers to get to know Tanzania on a more personal level.
Yeah, I'm glad I get that opportunity to show them our country and more than just the wildlife, I'm glad I get to show them the famous Serengeti, but also the side of Tanzanians that most of the travelers are not so lucky to get to see, to experience that. Yeah.
And I also would like to ask, we've talked about it a little bit, but why is it so important for these local communities to share their cultures with travelers? Why is it so important for those travelers to experience that?
I'll say, when travelers go beyond just game drives, something powerful, I think, happens. They stop being just the observant, like looking at the animals, the giant, the elephants and big five. They stop be observant and start becoming part of something. Meeting local people, sharing stories, joining the, let's say, maybe cooking class, or go visit local schools, traditional dances, go to what we call Sokoku, the central market in Tanzania, or the Shanga, where some people are playing with beads and, making local crafts. They are not just activities, they are windows into different ways of life here in Tanzania. So I think it helps the travelers to gain empathy and understanding and respect. They see that Tanzania is not just about wildlife, it's also about people who are proud and creative, resilient, and joyful. And on a practical level, supporting local communities through tourism, it creates impacts. It creates jobs, dignity, and pride in preserving the traditions. So, if you ask me, it supports local communities directly, but also when the travelers visit these communities, it encourages the sustainable tourism. And as I said here, it's I wanted to add this thing that for years the tourism and the dollars from the tourism business has been directed mostly to the lodges and tourism company. But when this tourist gets to visit the local communities, the local people get also they benefit from the tourism, and that enhance the sustainable tourism, but you also give them jobs and pride, pride that we have these national parks and all this in Tanzania. So yeah, I think it's a win-win situation for everyone, the communities here, but also the travelers.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's so important to not only as a traveler learn and start to gain that empathy you're talking about and understanding from being around local communities and getting to know local people and local culture, but I also think it's really important to do the other side of what you're talking about, which is empowering the local women, the local businesses, the local people to have pride in their country, but also to share that with travelers and to really be able to have their own economic sustainability and hopefully, like Anty was saying, support not only themselves, but generations to come. And I think that it's something that I'm very proud of with Cherish's Tanzania safari and a lot of our other trips, is that it's a good blend of If you've never been somewhere, you can experience the bucket list items. However, you also experience things other travelers may not have had the opportunity to experience. You get to meet someone like Mercy, who is from there, who's going to teach you about the culture and the community. You get to go to places like the markets that other travelers maybe would have passed over. And instead of only flying into the Serengeti and then staying at the beach in Zanzibar, you get a big overview of Tanzania life and culture and just seeing the countryside, driving through it. It's a really, really special opportunity. And I'd like to close by asking both you, Anty, and Mercy, by asking you, if you had one hope for women who travel to East Africa or Tanzania specifically, what's one hope you have for those women who travel there in a more meaningful and impactful way? Either one of you can please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Megan. And I love that. Really, this is women to women empowerment. That's really, really good, because especially in Tanzania, just like Messi was saying, in the work that we do, usually girls are always behind the scene. They're not seen in the community so much like men. But we have an example of Mercy here, who is now a tour guide. This really used to be a man job, but now, a girl or a lady that like Mercy has been empowered, and she's actually doing this wonderful, wonderful job of educating the travelers and guiding them and showing the other side of the country where in the beginning or in the past it wasn't possible. So I would really, my hope is for women to encourage other women to just be there, open, and just really the friendship and the mentorship and just sharing that knowledge that many of these girls don't have.
Thank you, Anty. And Mercy, do you have anything you'd like to add to that for hopes you have for women who travel to Tanzania?
Yes. First, I would like to say congratulations, Megan, and thank you for Cherish for creating these small group safaris specifically for women. When they come here, and I'm lucky that I'm going to be part of their safari and hosting or leading the safari. I mean, their trip. We get to exchange like the experience, the life experiences, like how is it like being here in a, like Anty said, used to be a male dominated industry. Guiding, it used to be only men goes out in safari and guiding the tourism, but they can also see this part, how life is for women, and we can also learn from them. But I will also add this, like I would encourage the women and maybe all the travelers when they come here to really be open to visit the group of the communities initiatives for business or organization, but and most of them are run by women. There are women lodges here. There are women who have formed a small group, and they do some things like they have a small garden where they grow all organic things. I don't know, Anty, you have been to Tanzania. I don't know if you know Umangu women groups. They keep these stingless bees, and they also grow some things that are very interesting. Like I'll ask them to keep their mind open and to visit these local groups of women, businesses and initiatives, but also be willing to share their side of life, how they live out there, what can we do better, or what they can, and willing also to learn from women here and people on Tanzanians on way of living. I'll just say that.
Thank you, Mercy. I really appreciate it. And I love the idea of being open-minded. I think it's something that we share now that you're a part of the Cherish team. It's something we really align with within our community, is staying open-minded, especially when visiting new countries like Tanzania. But I really appreciate appreciate you, Anty and Mercy, for both being here today and for sharing your dedication and your inspiring visions and everything from your insights in Tanzania. To everyone who joined us today, I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that you got a good glimpse of not only Cherish's safari, but the way that you can travel differently and be impactful and mindful about the way that you travel. And please, if you are compelled, reach out to Unite and learn more about how you can support the work that they're doing, because it's really important and very powerful. The link is again here for any donations if you're feeling compelled. And then, of course, if you were here today, we let you guys know that we have our own discount going right now. So we have a $250 event code for you today. So if you are watching this video now, or if you are seeing it even a few days from now, you can use the code EVENT250 to book at a discount for our upcoming safari next year in March. And that's available only until September 11th. So that's only a few weeks from now. We already have 2 women who have signed up for the trip. This is Cherish's most exclusive trip, where we are only hosting up to 6 people on the trip. So it's already a third of the way full. And we'd love to see a few more women who would like to make a meaningful difference and take a bucket list trip with a meaningful intention to come join us and be a part of this amazing safari. Thank you again for everyone who's here. And thank you so much, Mercy and Anty. I really appreciate both of you so much for being here.
Thank you, Megan, so much.
Thank you, Megan.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.